So the reason you can't get clients is not because of your offer. It's not because of your email campaign. It's not because of your email scripts. It's not because of your cold DM scripts or anything like that. It's actually because of what I like to call the market sweet spot. And also it's because of something that I like to call the market first approach. So let me explain. So let's just imagine that, your expertise in the skill set that you have right now, all right? So because this is where most people start from, this is just like a drop of water, right? And let's just say that the different markets that are out there, right, that it can potentially serve are different buckets, right? That we have on the ground right here. So as you can see, market one, two, three, four, five, six, whatever, right? There are tons of buckets on the ground, and each bucket represents a different market. Now, what usually happens is, people start with their expertise and skill set, right? And what that means is because they just start with that and they don't specifically start with a market first, what happens is the drop of water is not going to fall into any bucket, but is going to fall right here, right? Where it's not going to be in any bucket, it's going to be outside of the bucket. So, how this happens in real life is like this, right? So, you start with your expertise. Let's just say that you are good at leadership coaching for whatever reason. You like to do leadership coaching, you're just very good at this, right? So, what most people do is they're going to say, because, okay, I'm good at leadership coaching, I'm going to become a leadership coach, right? And their whole offer and their whole service is going to be leadership coaching. I offer leadership coaching to whatever. But this misses the whole point, right? Because you don't fall into a specific market, right? If this is your drop of water and you offer leadership coaching, then you are going to fall outside the bucket. So what you need to do instead is you need to take the market first approach. And what this means is that first of all, you think about a specific market, like you specifically choose a market, and then you do everything around that market. You build your offer around that market, you go to that market, you do your market research, right? You listen to them, you see what is it that they want exactly, like what is it that they want precisely, right? What is it like, how, like what are the numbers, how fast do they want to get it, what have they tried in the past, like literally everything about the market. And then you adapt your offer around that market. But what a lot of people do, they build the offer around their expertise and what they feel comfortable about offering. So again, what most people will do, like going with a leadership example, right, they will just say like, hey, I'm a leadership coach, I offer leadership coaching. But they don't necessarily offer that to a specific market, or they think they do have a market but it's way too broad, right? And they kind of try to fall into multiple buckets. But what ends up happening is they don't really resonate with anyone. Okay, so let me explain the market first approach, right? Because everything starts from the market. So if you figure out what your market is, everything else becomes easy, because you know exactly who you're trying to help. You can ask questions, you can do your market research, right? Which, by the way, is you're going to do by conducting Zoom interviews and literally asking prospects from your market. And based on that, you can create a world class offer. Now, by market, I don't mean like professionals or I don't know, like corporate people. Like that's way too broad. What a market is it's either a pocket of people who have the same problem, right? Like for example, let's say gut health issues, right? So this is a market. It can be around a problem, right? People dealing with gut health issues, right? Or maybe we can get even more specific and say people who are dealing with like a specific type of bacteria, right? Related to gut health issues. That is one way to define a market. The other way to define a market is based on the title. Okay, so that is a specific niche. So, for example, could be coaches and consultants, could be dentists, right? Like even I don't know, aesthetic dentists or divorce lawyers. Okay, so a market is not only a niche, but it can also be a pocket of people who have the same problem. Okay, but again, a lot of people don't get specific enough. They are just trying to offer, like, get clients to any type of business, or they try to offer social media marketing services to any type of business. And this is when their drop of water, their expertise, doesn't fall into any bucket. It falls outside the bucket. So it's a complete mismatch, and therefore you're not going to have product market fit. So what you need to do when it comes to building slash refining your offer, you should take the market first approach. Again, that means that you need, first of all, to pick a specific market. Either that's a specific niche, or just a pocket of people have the same problem, right? You need to listen to the market to see what they want, what they need, what they're talking about, like what are the exact numbers, what have they tried in the past, right? What are their biggest objections, fears, and things like that. And based on that, you create a product in the offer that they need. Okay, you need to know everything about your market. You need to understand them better than they understand themselves. So, for example, if your market, let's just say that you work with divorce lawyers, right? And let's just say that they hate group coaching, right? Because of some, confidentiality, like confidential reasons, they cannot operate in a group coaching format, right? Let's just say that you want to have a group coaching program, but because you picked this market, they cannot work with a group coaching format because because of privacy reasons. So that means that if you try to build your offer based on what you want, right, because you want to offer group coaching, and you try to sell that to the divorce lawyers who don't want group coaching, guess what's going to happen? You're going to get objections. It's not going to work. So this is why it's not only about like listening to lawyers and picking a specific market, but it's about asking them, hey, how do you want to receive this, right? What do you prefer? Like, what are some of the things that you've tried in the past and didn't work? And if they're going to tell like, oh, I hate courses, man, I've been through a lot of courses before and it didn't work, then don't try to build a course. Build a done for you offer, like a done with you offer. So you literally build the whole product, not even the offer, the whole product around what the market tells you, not the other way around. Right, where you first build the offer without analyzing the market, right? You start from yourself, like, oh, I'm a leadership coach, I'm going to offer leadership coaching. Or, oh, I want to do Facebook ads, right? I'm gonna do Facebook ads, and then I'm gonna watch how to pick a niche video on YouTube, and then I'm gonna pick the whatever the shiniest niche, and then I'm gonna try to offer them Facebook ads. Doesn't work that way. You have to first of all look at the market. What do they want, right? What type of paid ads works for them, and then based on that, you learn the paid ads. You go ahead and you build your skill set, and then you build the product and the offer around that specific market. Okay, so again, you don't not go the other way around. Okay, because again, if you don't know what your market is, and if you are not like specific enough with your market, then you're not going to know who to reach out to do the research, and it's impossible to be specific or to have any clarity on the offer, right? And so obviously it's kind of like similar when you order a custom suit, right? The tailor first of all takes your measurements, kind of like actually what your preferred fabric is, color, your body size, body shape, whatever. They take your measurements, and only after that they build a custom suit for you. And it's literally the same with the offer, but obviously you cannot build a custom suit for 30 different people at the same time. You have to obviously build for one specific person, and that's when you pick like a very specific market. Okay, so now you're probably going to be in three different scenarios, right? Let's get a little bit more specific. So w- three scenarios, right? First of all, maybe you've worked with multiple different clients with different problems from different industries, and then you're not sure how to narrow down in on which niche to focus on, right? That can be the case with you. You've worked with a bunch of different clients and you're not sure. Well, if that's the case, it's very simple, because what you need to do is you need to use what I like to call the client scoring spreadsheet, where you are literally going to have a spreadsheet and list out all of the clients that you've had in the past, right? All of the clients that you've worked with in the past. Okay, so if I can just pull up an example right here, all you have to do is just literally have a spreadsheet like this, and you would literally list out all of your clients from best to worst. Okay, we're gonna have three sections: best clients, met clients, and hell clients, right? And then you're gonna list out all of your clients right here. Okay, and then obviously you're gonna answer like, okay, what was their obviously specific market, what was their industry, what was the sub market, what was their problem, what was their desired result, what were the pros of you working with them, the pros, the cons, how much did you enjoy working with them, right? How good were the results from 1 to 10? So you're literally going to answer all these questions, and this is how you're going to rate your clients. And then what you need to do is you need to take a look at this section right here, okay? And you need to pick one best client, okay? So for example, if you've worked with dentists, lawyers, business owners, right? You cannot serve all of them. You have to pick one industry. So if that's the case, then let's just say that you've got the best results with the dentist. Everything was good with the dentist. You enjoy working the most with them. Very, very simple. Then what you're going to do is you're literally going to pick the dentist. Okay. And obviously, this is going to be based on like, okay, how good were the results? How much did you enjoy working with them? How easy was it for you to work with them and to get the results? Okay. So you just literally stick to one. It's that simple. You have the freedom to choose. If you've worked with multiple different clients in the past, you literally have the freedom to choose, right? So this is if you've worked with multiple different clients, right? Now, if you haven't worked with any clients in the past, but you do have the expertise and you know what problem you can and want to solve, but you don't know exactly what market to go after. So this is exactly the case where, let's say that you have leadership related skills, you want to do leadership coaching, or you know how to do Facebook ads, right? For example, if you're an agency and you want to do Facebook ads because you're very good at Facebook ads, then what you're going to do is you're going to start from your expertise, and you can literally use the same spreadsheet. But this time around, what you're going to do is you're going to list out all of the potential niches and markets who would need your help. Okay. So, for example, with Facebook ads, obviously, not every single niche is going to need Facebook ads. Not every single niche is going to work very well with Facebook ads. So, you start from Facebook ads and you think, okay, what different markets or niches desperately need help with Facebook ads? And Facebook ads is a great mechanism to deliver results for them specifically. Okay. And you can just do research right on the internet. You can also use ChatGPT to give you suggestions of very specific markets. And so what you want to do is based on that, you want to list out, like, let's say 10 different markets. Okay. 10 different markets. And then what you want to do is you want to see, okay, how big the market? Is it above 30,000 people in the US? If that's the case, that's a green light, right? You can go with that. It's big enough, right? Then you want to take a look at, okay, how easy is it for me to identify them? How easy is it for me to reach out to them? How easy is it for me to find them? Are they out there advertising themselves? Is it easy to do outreach to them? Is it easy to acquire them? Obviously, there are going to be multiple factors that you take into consideration. Their buying power, right? How receptive are they? How easy can you acquire the skills and the niche knowledge so that it can help them better, right? You think about all of those things, and then what you have to do is literally just pick one market, which is the best market. Okay, you need to brainstorm a little bit, right? You need to see, like, okay, what would you be passionate about? Because this is also a big one. Okay. And then you start from the problem. Facebook ads, I can run Facebook ads very well, or I'm a good leadership coach. And then you think, okay, what markets, what people need my help, like, very badly, right? And then, based on that, you see, okay, which market needs my help the most? Like, it's a deal breaker, like, it's a life threatening issue with leadership or with Facebook ads. So if I'm going to come in, they're going to pay me a lot of money. Okay. So this is how you think, and then again, you pick one specific market. Okay, that might be, if you run Facebook ads, that might be, like, I don't know, real estate agents, just a random example. Or if you're a leadership coach, you might pick, like, divorce lawyers or law firm owners, right? And then you pick that, and that's going to be your market. But it's one specific market, as you can see, and then bam, you have your market, and then it's super simple because all you have to do to make your offer absolutely perfect, where the market is going to be like, that's exactly what I need. That's literally built for me, because this is literally how you build the offer and the product. How you do that is by conducting market research interviews. You literally message people. You are honest about what you want to do. You ask them, like, hey, I'm building my product and my offer, and I'm building it specifically for you. And I wanna do research, and as a thank you gift for you helping me out with the research, I'm going to give you access to a free module from the program. That's literally how you talk to people. And then you need to conduct at least 10 to 30 interviews, right? Like an absolute minimum of 10, ideally 30 interviews with different people from the market. And that's how you build the best product and the best offer ever. And you are completely going to obliterate all of your competitors. But obviously, at the same time, it's going to be super easy for you to get clients. Okay. Now, if you haven't worked with any clients in the past, right, this is the third scenario, and you're not sure about what skills you have, what you can monetize, you don't know where to start, maybe you have a vague idea about what you want to do, but things are unclear. So basically, you have no experience and you have no idea about what you want to do. Well, in that case, you can just model a business. Okay. And a lot of the big, like, gurus, like even 8-figure businesses that you see nowadays on YouTube and stuff like that, they started by modeling other successful businesses. Okay. So what you can do is, obviously, you can think about, like, okay, what are you passionate about? What problems have you solved in the past? Okay. Like, what problems do you want to solve? Okay. What are you good at? What are the skills that you can acquire? Okay. So you think about all those things. You maybe can look in your personal life and see what big problems you solve in a personal life, and you can solve those problems for other people. There are a lot of different options, but you can just brainstorm a little bit, and you can, list out a couple of markets, see which one you like the most. Or if you are completely out of ideas, you can just model a business, right? You can just take a look at a business from the internet, right? Obviously, if it's agency or coaching related. So, if you're going to be something like, damn, I would love to run that type of business, like, I would actually love to run that type of business, then, you can just literally model it. And by model, I don't mean copy it. Like, you don't want to rip people off. I'm not telling you to copy them, but you can just choose that market and try to solve the same market. Okay. And see, like, okay, what market is this business serving? And obviously, you want to make sure that the business is actually successful. They do at least 7 figures or 8 figures. And so you take a look, okay, what market do they serve? What specific market do they serve? Okay, well, what is their promise? What is their offer? What is their product? And based on that, you go ahead and build your own offer and product, but try to make it better. Try to have an advantage, right? And then that's literally, again, how all of the big gurus that you are seeing today, like 7 figure, 8 figure gurus, I don't have to tell you about them because you probably already know them. That's literally how they started their business, by modeling another successful business. So if you are out of ideas, if you have a vague idea about what you want to do, but you're still not sure, then that's not a problem, because you can just literally model a business that's already successful, right? And you are looking at a business, you're thinking like, I would love to run the type of business. And then you start from there, and then you can literally build a 8 figure empire based on that. But obviously you have to build a great product and a great offer. So that's literally how you do it. Okay, it's not about, again, it's not about the offer itself, or like the offer statement or the promise. It's not about the cold email scripts. It's not about anything like that. It's just purely about taking the market first approach and being specific enough with your offer. Okay, and making sure that with your skill set you are falling into a specific bucket. Okay, you're not falling outside a bucket, and this is why you need to be very specific with the market that you choose, and you need to start from the market first and literally build the perfect, the custom made offer for that market. Okay, so that is that. I hope you enjoyed this video. This document is from inside my product. So if you are a coach or a consultant or course creator or even an agency owner and you want to get more clients, you want to possibly scale to 100K per month and beyond predictably and consistently, right? Where you do this every single month, then I have a pretty cool offer for you, which is results first, right? It's results based offer. Performance based is a pretty cool offer. So if you want to check it out, I have a link in the bio, right? A link in the description of this video, sorry. And then you can just check it out. If not, it's not a problem, but it's a pretty cool offer and it might be, a good fit for you if you're a coach, consultant, course creator, or agency owner. So I'm going to see you in the next video. Bye.